Hey guys, this is Daniel from Around the Board, and we're talking about March Madness of Board Game Day 6. This has been a wild and crazy adventure so far, a lot of upsets. Now today is going to be a little bit more calmer, a lot more predictable. There were no bracket busters or anything like that, so not as exciting to say, but there was a few good things that happened, some exciting things to highlight. So without further ado, let's take a look at the matchups and where we landed. Alright, so the first matchup we had was Carissa's Division, and this was Century, Golem Edition, or Spice Road, whatever you prefer, either one, or Alhambra. Now this was pretty phenomenal because Alhambra and Century were going back and forth all day. Alhambra took the lead for some good time, but then Century came back with seven in a row, which propelled it ahead of Alhambra, and Alhambra had one trailing vote that would have brought it to 19, which still wasn't enough to overcome it. When people missed their prediction bracket, this was one of them. Alhambra is this classic old game that a lot of people thought would really stand a chance. You're collecting property. It has a really unique mechanic where it doesn't make change. So if you're buying a property that's worth $6 but you only have $10, you have to pay $10. Maybe in description that doesn't sound very great, but in practicality it works really well, and this is a classic for a reason. It's still in print, you can still find it today, and it's definitely worth checking out. But it did not match up well against Century or Golem Edition. This is a Splendor Killer game. They can also be combined with two other games, I forgot what I'm not going to think of their names right now, but they were teamed up with those to make one epic game. But Century Spice Road is a great game unto itself. It plays quick, plays for all people, so there's no wonder why Century passed up Alhambra. So let's take a look at our next matchup. Oh, this one we had Champions of Midgard versus Guild of London. I will say Champions of Midgard, 2 people have this one predicted to win the entire thing. So this was definitely a favor to win against Guild of London. And I gotta admit, Guilds of London showed up really well at the end. It was 7 of the last 10 votes was for Guild of London. And I know personally, I actually have owned both of these games, but have never played them. And I have parted ways with both of them as well. Champions of Midgard, from my understanding, is more like a Lords of Waterdeep clone, which again was one of the winners at FBC Gamers. So I think there's a good chance that Champions of Midgard could stand pretty firm in this bracket and maybe even take it to the finals. Now Guilds of London, a lot more Euro-y, a lot more card base. I think I'm more entertained by that thought. I actually stumbled across Guilds of London once more, so it's in my collection one more time. Maybe this time I'll actually get it played. I don't know. Maybe not, though. I have too many games unplayed already, that's for sure. All right, the next one I was really excited for, and that is Zach's Division, and that is Blood on the Clock Tower versus Time Stories. Time Stories, guys, is a great storytelling game with a puzzle to solve. And I say great, it's rated great. I actually despise this game. I've come to find out that I don't like these storytelling board games where there's a puzzle to figure out, which is crazy because I like storytelling and I like puzzles and board games. But those two things together just drive me bonkers, because if you miss something, you don't know it until the end. And then you're looking through, you break the immersion of the adventure, and you're looking through the stacks of cards going, okay, where did I miss it? What did I do? And it's just a frustrating experience. And when you find out what it was, you're like, well, I looked at that, or the game didn't let me go there. Like, how was I supposed to know that was the answer? Anyways, Time Stories was hot when it first came out. It shot up probably to the top 10, I think, in Board Game Geek, but over time it is slowly fading away. Now, Blood on the Clock Tower, on the other hand, is quickly going up the charts. This is probably the best social deduction game out on the market right now, surpassing Secret Hitler. This is a 1 to 2 hour social deduction game that is doesn't have player elimination, but you do kill each other, but then you become ghosts, which from what I heard is that it's just as entertaining to be a ghost as it is to be anything else. This game is an epic storytelling secret trader game that I know I need to try it, and I know it's going to be at FBC GameCon all day. I believe it's going to be running the convention. We'll be running alongside it, so if you're going to come to FBC GameCon, make sure you come and check out Blood on the Clock Tower. Seems like a good time, but it made it. It passed Time Stories. Time Stories, it was tied early in the day, and then all of a sudden Blood on the Clock Tower just took off, and Time Stories could never catch up again. Colt Express and Draftosaurus. Gotta admit, this one I had Colt Express written all over it, but I think this is where this engine is gonna stay, because I don't think there was a lot of fanfare about it. Just a lot of people didn't know what Draftosaurus was. And guys, if you've watched this far, let me tell you, this is a contest about which game you would rather play, not necessarily which one's the best. Now, if you played one and you really like it and you don't know what this other one is, yeah, pick that one. But if you played one and you're like, I will never play that again, vote for the other one. I think Draftosaurus could have appeared better because not very many people had played it, and they had played Colt, and they said, well, why not? I played Colt Express, so I might as well just vote for that one. But guys, Draftosaurus I think is a great drafting game. It's simple, it's fun, it's kind of a verb and verb as well. You're drafting dinosaurs, you're placing them in your pen, and then you pass the dinosaurs along. It is kind of a grimy game because you got to hold the little dinosaurs in your hand, and then you pass it to the next person, and then their sweaty little dinosaurs end up in your hand. So you got to be okay with sharing germs a little bit. But then Colt Express is I guess you can call it a programming press your luck game. You're a thief on a train, and you are trying to gather the treasure and shoot your enemy, but you don't know where your enemy is going to be. So you play your 6 cards down, and then you flip them over one at a time, and you all take turns doing that, revealing what you're going to be doing and where you're at, and then maybe you shoot somebody, maybe you don't. Maybe you pick up the treasure, or maybe your partner already picked it up. So Colt Express, not my cup of tea, but apparently it is yours because it beat Draftosaurus. All right, so let's take a look at the ratings now. The standings, we have Kenny and Topher are still on top. Today we had a lot of people who got a perfect score again. Not a lot of upsets in this one. A lot of people seen it coming. Though Draftosaurus, I think that's where I think a lot of people do not like Draftosaurus, but do enjoy don't like Colt Express and wanted to vote for Draftosaurus, because a lot of people had predicted Draftosaurus of winning, even though what they voted was different, which is also the great part of FBC Gamers. You vote and you do your bracket, but they don't always match up, and they shouldn't match up if you're doing it right. I'm watching you guys out there. No cheating. All right, well, let's take a look at our next matchup. So tomorrow we are going to be looking at Bandidos versus Agricola. This is Carissa's one of her go-to games. She likes to play it everywhere she goes. It's a cooperative game where you're trying to escape, dig out of jail, I believe. So exciting there. And Agricola, it's a classic UE. This one, I think Agricola is going to win, and it's going to take it home, take the gold home for sure. Wonderland's War and In the Footstep of Darwin. We'll see. I know there's going to be a lot of hate voting for Wonderland's War, but man, this game is so good for so many people. This bag building area control game, and then going up against a lightweight Euro game that's card driven. I don't know. Wonderland's War to me is going to be victorious. Power Grid and Dune. Again, Power Grid is the best game that has ever been made. It should win everything. I don't predict it's going to win everything, but I think it should. It's definitely the best game on all of these brackets, and it's definitely going to beat the classic Dune, who most people will go, what? There was a classic game of Dune? I don't know. Though, I don't know. With the movie as hot as it is right now, maybe people will say, I would rather play Dune than Power Grid again, but we'll see what happens. And then, oh yeah. Now, I said Power Grid's my favorite game in the matchup. Actually, Unmatched is. Unmatched is a great 2-player skirmish game, and Lanterns is a kind of an abstract game where you're laying out tiles. Unmatched, I think, should take this, and it should be a slam dunk. But Lanterns has been in this competition for many years, so I wouldn't be surprised if it does overtake Unmatched, because, again, Unmatched is one of those games where you love it or you don't want to play it at all. So we'll see how that one pans out. I know my heart of heart says, please let Unmatched win. I want it to go all the way to the end, which I think 3 people predicted that it would win all the way to the end. So I know that there are some people out there who have faith in this game too, but it has to get through a FBC Gamer March Madness favorite, which is Lanterns. All right, guys. Well, that is it for round 6 of March Madness of Board Games. Join us tomorrow as we take a look at even more great game matchups. Remember to vote in every single matchup. There's 4 a day, and every time you vote, you also get a chance to win a $50 gift card to Mission Board Games. So, guys, make sure you're voting. Let's participate. And you know what? Until next time, I'll see you around the board.